to sleeper berth, that is a place that you're going to be able to go to get your rest in order for you to continue to keep running when you're on the road. Quite obviously, when you get back here, you're not going to be in the sleeper berth. You'll be on the off-duty line, okay? But when you're on the road and you need to go down for your time, you need to go down for 10 hours, okay? And typically, it can be a combination of lines 1 and line 2 in order to get your full 10 hours, okay? But when you're on the road, basically it's all sleeper berth. So here's the philosophy. When we get to the point at which we look at a 70-hour clock, which is what we're on, okay, we always have to be concerned about that 70 hours. Simply because once I attain 70 hours worth of hours on lines 3 and 4, I no longer can drive.
That 34-hour reset.
You got to get the 34-hour reset. And typically most drivers around their 50th or 55th hour get a 34-hour reset. I mean, that's how it normally works. But there are times where you might work on what they call the summary line, which means that you will have already gone past this and you're relying on the 8th day to take away those hours. Okay, and again, we don't do that very often in this industry now simply because of e-logs, because the e-log automatically does it for you. It tells you when you run out of hours. Years ago, when we did them on paper, you had to figure it out, okay? But now, we always want to try and preserve as much of that 70 hours so I never run out of hours to work, okay? So, when you get to a shipper, let's say, okay, and I'm not going to draw it now because I'm going to do the sleeper berth, but let's say I'm coming in, this is midnight, I'm coming in at 4 in the morning, I go down, I do my pre-trip inspection, I come back up and I start driving. Now, when I get to my stop, technically, when I get to my stop, we need to be on what line when I get to the stop?
On duty.
On duty, not driving, exactly.
On duty, not
I'm going to tell you line 2, okay?
Sleeper.
Sleeper berth. Okay, simply because I'm always looking at this.
70 hours.
Okay, I'm saving my time. All right.
Okay.
If I have all my time in here, I will run out before I get to Friday. I'll be out of time, out of hours, completely. Okay. Now, I can help you, okay, because I can move hours around if I need to, and we have on occasion. But if you put a lot of hours down here, as long as it's not on the drive line, I can take whatever you have here and put it here, okay, and give you hours back. But I don't like doing that because it looks shady, okay? So what we like to be able to do is say, when you get to your stops, rather than coming down here and laying on the on-duty not driving line for all that time, go up here. There's 2 thoughts because of that. A, it's saving that 70 hours. Okay, it's really helping you out at the end of the week. The other thing that it does is during your 14-hour day, you are accumulating time that you can split your sleeper berth. Okay, you're setting yourself up for it. If you stay here, you can't do anything. You're done. You're just wasting hours. But if I come up here, I'm making it so that I could possibly split my sleeper berth if I need to and if I can. So let's see what split sleeper berth really is. Split sleeper berth means that I can have a period of an 8-hour combined with a 2-hour period, or a 7-hour, and this will happen at the end of the month. This hasn't happened yet. As of right now, today, this doesn't exist. This does, but this doesn't. A 7-hour and a 3-hour period. Okay? So if I take 8 and 2, that's 10, right? And if I take 7 and 3, that's 10. Okay? So regardless of how I do this, whether I do a 2 first and then an 8 or an 8 and then a 2, it doesn't matter. I'm allowed to do it either way, as long as it's a period no less than 2 hours. So what's that look like? I come in, and let's say that I'm driving. Okay? So I'm driving from midnight to 2 o'clock in the morning. I decide that when I get to this place where I'm picking up, up in Massachusetts, I'm gonna bring the load down to here. Here's what I'm gonna show you how you can work it, okay? Come down here. When I go to make the pickup, I'm gonna go with sleeper berth. Because I know that place, State Garden, happens to hold you for about 3 hours to load the truck.
3 hours you can
Okay,
save.
so I could put it down here. Technically, it should go down here, but we're telling you put it in the sleeper berth. 1, 2, 3 hours. Okay, so far I have done nothing wrong. Okay, because the question I always ask: will DOT be in that stop? No. Okay. Can anybody actually say whether you were in the sleeper berth or you were on line 4? No, only you can say that. Because you're the one that didn't take it off of the on-duty not driving line. Okay, so when we get to this point where you're going to make your pickups, okay, or you're going to do your drops, go in the sleeper berth as much as you can because you're banking, you're saving hours on your 70. Okay, so now I stay up here for 3. I'm loaded. I start to come back. Okay. And I haven't picked up my pickup spot yet. So far I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got 6 hours on the drive line. You know. So now I say, okay, well after 6 hours, okay, I want to take a break of 7 in order to finish out my day and get back here because my appointment is not until tonight. So if I could have, all right, come back here, let's say, you know, and again, this is all about making money, I could have come back here, dropped the trailer and been done with it and taken only part of that backhaul money, my pickup, you know, but instead, I'm going to jump up here, I'm going to take 7 hours and then go to the backhaul from wherever I'm at, wherever I can get in that period of time. And then make my delivery, because now I get the whole backhaul, I get everything, I get the pickup and the delivery, you know, and I also got my rest. So I wasn't illegal doing it. If I did it any other way other than this, I would be illegal.
Wait, I'm lost. I used to work, and it's
I got another pen,
whole
boss.
different level. So you did your pre-trip and you started driving at midnight, right? Example.
Yeah, I was already.
Well, you were already driving, like
I
from
was
the day
already
before.
driving. From the day before, I was already driving.
Okay, so when you go pick up your backhoe, you obviously
I got
go
there at 2 a.m.
A sleeper berth.
Right, I went right in the sleeper berth for 3 hours.
3 hours, 5 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Then you started driving. And then you stopped at 9 o'clock.
Mhm.
Correct.
Right,
You went in the sleeper berth,
right.
and then that's 3 hours that you saved from your backhoe. Correct.
That's correct.
And then
Now I'm going to go up and I'm going to get 7 hours here.
Let's say you got the wherever you're gonna stop and get your rest, correct?
Mm-hmm.
At 9 o'clock.
Right, 9 o'clock.
And then your appointment is at 6 in the morning.
Let's say it's going to be at 7 at night, and I get within 3 hours of the place. Okay, because if I did it back here, the possibility of me getting anywhere near the place before my time ran out was slim to none. Okay, I wouldn't have even got anywhere near it. So now, instead of being there at 7 o'clock at night to deliver, now I can't deliver till the next morning because I'm going to run all the way to here, try and get to the place, but I'm not going to make it because I'm not going to have enough hours. Because remember, I was already driving. I was already on the drive line.
You stay a couple hours.
I hang back a couple hours, okay, get as close as I can, you know, and then figure out if I take an 8-hour break here, come down and drive 3 hours, I can get to the spot. Okay?
That's something new to me.
It's a whole new game. I'm telling you, this is not new in the logging world, but it's new to a lot of drivers because a lot of companies don't even teach how to split.
I will have to stay on duty.
Yeah. No, and don't. No,
I mean,
no.
I'm talking about us.
Right, right.
You stay on duty.
But
we
here's
make
what-
the delivery, then we have to
Right,
back on driving.
but here's what your option is here, which is really nice. When you get into situations like this, as long as it's like during normal hours, I have a girl that works for me, Allie, and she knows these logbooks as well as I do. Okay, so she can help you with stuff like this. So when you get into this situation, you say, my my delivery, okay, is not until 7 o'clock tonight. So right here, this is where I'm shooting for, okay? So there's no way that I would have made it from here all the way and driven to get to the spot, okay, without running out of hours. I would have ran out of hours, okay, many hours prior to this. And then by that time, I ran my hours out, and I would have had it going down for 10 hours, not the 7 I'm going to be doing. Okay, so what I've literally done is I've dissected my day in order to get to the
Yeah, but
backhaul
you're gonna be
and
waiting
still
at the
have
back.
hours. Sure, and I also want hours to come back home. I want to deliver here. I'm delivering here at 7 o'clock tonight, even if they held me 3 hours till 10 o'clock.
Sleeper bird.
I'm going right back in a sleeper berth. Okay, I could use that time and then come home.
Come home. Yeah,
Okay,
you got
because
time.
you did that to yourself.
I mean, you still, even if you're waiting for your backhaul, you waiting 3 hours, you got 3 hours. to take
There's
it.
another 3 hours. Yeah, there's another 3 hours.
Huh?
So why spend it here
Sí, pero más de
Well, you can spend it up.
when you can take it up here and
If
take
you guys-
advantage of it?
If you go to sleep like for 1 hour, it's kind of
No good.
No,
No good. No.
it's gotta be more.
Gotta
than
be
2
two.
It has to be a minimum of 2.
2 hours.
Okay? And if you're going to use the 7, and again, the 7 hasn't happened yet. 7 doesn't happen until the end of this month. Okay, on the 29th of September, you will be allowed to use these rules. Okay, Next Track, the people who do our e-logs are just making the change now in the tablets. Okay, it's actually being sent. It's up in tablets through satellite, but. This 3 actually doesn't exist yet, but the 8 and 2 has been in existence for a long time.
But you have been a daily driver. That's what you're different now. Now you're an over the road, pure over the road. So to speak, you'd be out 2 days,
Regional,
3 days.
actually.
Regional.
This is called regional light, okay? Because you're not out for days and days and
You know,
days
so
at a
like
time.
you come home every other day, basically.
Yeah, basically it's every other day. Yeah, I mean that's basically what they do here. Our place is a little bit heavier because we have guys that are out all week. We have guys that are out for 3 nights. We got guys that are out for 4 nights. So we're a little bit on the more on the OTR side. But here it's really more regional, and you're not out that long. But this is even more to you. This is more of an advantage. Now. The other big change, and again, I'm only explaining this to you so you have a general idea of what this is and that this actually does exist, but you won't really see it until you actually go to do it on the tablet, and you're on the road, you've got the situation right in front of you. But this situation here, under the old rules, under just having this available to you, the 2 hour didn't come out of your 14-hour calculation. So I still had to count this in my 14 hours. Under the new rules, it all comes out. The 2 and 8 and the 7 and 3 all comes out of the 14 hours. So what did you actually do? You're actually able to take 2 or 3 hours, depending on how you split, and add it to the end of your day. You've actually stretched your day out by 2 to 3 hours, which is a huge advantage. Huge. Okay? Because now you're able to manipulate the logbook to get you home.
And we call it managing it.
We call it. I call it innovative. Okay?
Innovate. But like he said, the legislation is not smart enough because they would not like to have us have that. They would much rather us.
check our trucks when we go on break.
You could, sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't see why not. I know they're sitting there. So, but
Do you get it?
What? I want to see my truck. What the?
Hey, and I'm doing this because he knows it. I have to get it another time or two, but I understand the value in it, especially if I'm out there driving every day. You get to get home when you want to get home versus, man, if I would have kept those 3 hours
and
on.
you don't waste time. You're utilizing every hour of your day to make money, okay? Because if I'm going to sit here, what am I going to do? If I can't come in the warehouse, I'm going to be in the bunk anyway. Why don't I take credit for it?
Because they usually, when you go to sleep early, you gotta rest for the 10 hours.
Right, exactly.
That's what I'm saying. I know that's what you're used to.
And it's always 10.
And how often do you usually sleep 10 hours?
Oh, no.
Nobody
Nobody
sleeps
sleep
10 hours. No. This
After 5 hours, you done.
this allowed us to sleep more normal. Let me get that, lay down and take a 2-hour power nap,
That's what I
okay?
do. That's what I call
And
it.
then, okay, take an 8-hour rest, okay? So here, this is a new option. I can take a 3-hour power nap and a 7-hour rest.
You're going to have to learn where you're going, geographically,
It's a good-
do a
it's a good
good
way.
trip plan, and that's where you're going to have to become the professional. You figure out where they're asking you to get the backhaul from, when it has to be delivered, and then where you are. Then you become a trip plan. They just learned a little bit more about the Google with the opportunity to see it from a satellite.
Oh yeah, the satellite version is cool. Yeah, you
But-
can actually see the building.
But
We
what I'm
do that
going
all the time.
what I'm going to make Hyro do in the apprenticeship is actually really live in where's my first choice for a rest stop, where's my second choice for a rest stop. When I start working the split sleeper berth, that opens up a whole lot of different opportunity on how I'm going to manage my set. You got to think in terms of my 70 hours. 70 hours is what you're really working with in 8 days.
Question. I don't know if you know about that, but when you're over the road, you gotta rest for 12 hours. Why?
You don't have to rest for 12 hours.
Because I'm trying to log in for driving before the 12 hour, and they don't let me log in.
What's that mean, 12 hours? What's that about?
Because we driving like 12 hour, like, and we take that off half an hour break.
So you were